Hi, I'm Michael Arnold, and in this video, which I'm shooting on a ridiculously hot day in London here with the fan blowing in my face, if I turn that off, I'm afraid I'm going to roast. Um, so yeah, in this video, I want to talk to you about something that I call secrets, lies, and fertility. So I've talked about this in some other emails, but it's really come up to the fore in the last week or so. I've had several people, I had about 3 people in the last week that have said to me variations of the same story. So it kind of goes like this. So they're either at a party or a wedding often, and they're already feeling self-conscious about the fact that there's pregnant women all around them, or there's children running around, and it seems like they're the only one that doesn't have children. And then they'll be having a conversation with someone, and then suddenly they will say the most inappropriate things that you will not, well, maybe you will believe, because maybe you've heard it too. Things like, oh, so when are you having children then? Or why don't you have children? Or just the most cringeworthy things. Like and it's kind of beggars belief, really. And I've got a theory about why it happened, which I'll talk about in a second. But if you're on the receiving end of something like that, and you probably have been, I imagine a lot of people have, it can just seem like just the most insensitive thing, and it's just like you're already feeling insecure in this situation, and then someone just stabs it, just kind of stabs you in the heart almost. It can feel like it can feel like the everything, the world is constantly pushing your buttons. It's because I think we live in a society where just it's the norm. It's kind of like that's what you do. That is like, so kind of husband plus job plus children equals happiness. I've talked about that before, and it's almost like people can't get their head around, like, there are some people who might be struggling to have children. So they will say the most inappropriate things. But I think what it really is, because they're aware, well, they're not aware that there's an unconscious kind of bit of them that kind of perhaps recognizes that the most inappropriate thing to say in that situation would be to ask, oh, so when are you having children? And because it's unconscious, and they don't even dare look at that fear or that kind of awkwardness of like, oh, what's the worst possible question I could ask here? It's because it's subconscious, it'll pop up to the surface, and people will ask the most insensitive questions because there's just not enough awareness to recognize that would be the most inappropriate question to ask. And it manifests in so many ways. So it might manifest as you see a woman on the tube who has a badge here that says "baby on board," and it's going to push it up in your face. It's kind of like, I had someone who said to me they saw every time they saw someone with a badge that said "baby on board," they had this kind of uncontrollable rage that was said like, "Well, good for you." Like, oh, okay, that's great. Like, good for you. And they said to me like, "Okay, I feel really bad for feeling like that." And I said, well, that doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you completely normal to have these feelings, because when you're struggling to have a baby, it seems like everyone around you is falling pregnant just like that. And it's like, because our society is so geared towards, you open a magazine and everyone in it is beaming with their new baby, and it's like, that's just the norm. That's what happiness looks like. That's what we're kind of, and just, it's hard for people to get their heads around anything other than that's what everyone does. And even, I think if you haven't been through infertility, or you haven't talked to a lot of people who are going through infertility, I think some people just can't imagine what it would be like. So yeah, it's not like these people are bad people. The people who are, hopefully most people are sensitive, but there are some people who will come out with silly things, and it'll be hurtful. And I think the reason it's hurtful is because it taps into this sense of shame, the sense of, I think a lot of women that I see who are coming for fertility, there is a deep-seated, very often unspoken, and I think the fact that it's unspoken shame perpetuates it. The fact that perhaps they've never talked to anyone about these kind of feelings before, and I get a lot of people replying to emails they send out saying like, "Oh, it's just so great to know that I'm not alone, and there are other people in this situation who also have these feelings," and it diffuses some of that shame, because shame can only exist when it's unconscious, when it's unspoken. As soon as it's exposed to the light, then it loses the power over you. And so that's really my aim. And I think this just isn't talked about enough in our society. There's still this huge taboo. There's still this huge secrecy around fertility. A lot of people don't even tell their closest friends that they're struggling to have a baby, because it's this fear of like, oh, does that mean I'm not a real woman if I can't have a baby? And even for just people to admit that to themselves, as soon as you say that, it's like, oh no, of course that's not true. Of course that's not who I am. Essentially, it doesn't. But I think there's a lot of this idea that I can't. I'm a failure. That there's a lot of feeling of being a failure that surrounds it, and that's important to address these issues for several reasons. Well, firstly, because like, what a way to live! Like it's just such a unpleasant, it's just no way to live, to live in this sense of shame. But secondly, like, that often is a big part of the fertility puzzle that I've talked a lot about before, about how the body is affected by the mind. And if you're living in that, if there's any kind of shame inside you, that's going to manifest in the body. The link between stress and fertility is well established scientifically. And but once we start to uncover some of these unconscious fears, these deep-seated feelings of shame and kind of not feeling good enough, once you start shedding light on that, then it loses power over you, because it only has a hold over you because it's unconscious. And that's the essence of mindfulness, essentially. So mindfulness is not about changing your thought patterns. It's about bringing consciousness, bringing awareness to those thought patterns. And they start to change by themselves naturally once you bring awareness to them. So this is something that I feel very strongly about, that needs to be, I feel like it's a conversation that needs to start, and it needs to be happening in more places. So I'm doing my bit by, over the next 30 days, I'm going to be doing a video series talking about these issues, talking about the shame and the secrecy and the lies. Because there's a lot of lies and misinformation about fertility as well. I've talked about that in other emails, just flat out lies that get perpetuated in the media. And so if you feel that this is something that resonates with you, that you'd like to hear more about, then put your name and email address in the box on this page, and you'll receive this video series, Secrets, Lies and Fertility. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.